starting off with Mark Ruffalo returning as the Hulk in Spider-Man 4. I talked about this. I told you guys it was reported by Nexus Point, which to me I think is a very reliable source. Almost everything they report on ends up becoming true, and they reported on the Hulk months ago, and now here it is finally confirmed. We don't have to speculate because so far we only got confirmed the Punisher was in it, and now we know Hulk is coming in, which I'm still shocked. Those are the two characters in this movie. We heard about this like at the beginning of the year because I think John Roca was the one who also said that he heard it. We were like, Punisher and Hulk? Okay, buddy, let's go back to that rumor with Mephisto and Ghost Rider. We believe that one much more. And I did at the time. But this ended up being the right one. Now, in this article, they also confirm another villain that we've been wanting to see for 8 years. It says here, at the same time, Michael Mando, known for his work on Better Call Saul, is returning to reprise his role as Scorpion, the villain character who he first played in Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017. It's insane that a character that was teased almost 8 years ago is finally getting fulfilled and brought to the big screen with Scorpion. So I want to talk about this before I get to the Hulk stuff. I love the idea of Scorpion coming in here for a couple of reasons. One, to me, he is a classic Spider-Man villain. We've been hearing a lot of other characters that'll be popping up in Spider-Man Brand New Day, from Tarantula, which I probably misspelled, and Boomerang, right? These are characters that are essentially confirmed because of the comic book covers that we see in the director's office. Boomerang here and Tarantula there, where Kevin Feige did tell us in Destin's office, he's got these comic covers and he's going to recreate them. So Kevin Feige ended up spoiling Spider-Man himself. But Boomerang and Tarantula, to me, are not classic characters. They're not in that echelon of like go-to Spider-Man villains. Scorpion to me is. He's someone that I've known since I was little. I had a Scorpion toy when I was a kid, and I would mash them together, possibly make them kiss. I'm not telling you what I was doing with my toys. But I was like, also, finally, a classic Spider-Man villain that hasn't been done in the movies that Tom Holland can make his own, because that's kind of what he's been in the shadow of. Tom Holland has not gotten his own Doc Ock, his own Norman Osborn, his own Electro, his own Lizard, his own Green Goblin. None of those figures, because they ended up becoming multiverse characters that show up and are just the carryover villains from the other Spider-Man, which is fine. But I would love for Tom Holland to have his own, because look at the Vulture, Michael Keaton. That is a Spider-Man villain for him now, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back Vulture. We're forgetting about all that Morbius stuff. I still think my theory about now that Vulture has forgotten Peter's identity, he goes back to hating Spider-Man. Because Peter Parker is the part of the Vulture where he's like, I like that guy. He was okay to me. And why he didn't give up the identity of him to Scorpion. But now that he don't remember Peter, I think he goes back to hating Spider-Man. Just my thought. So that's kind of one of the reasons. And we just saw in the animated show that they came out this year, the Scorpion can be threatening, dude. Scorpion, if done right, can be scary for Spider-Man, can be a real big threat. I still wonder if they're going to go with the classic comic origin, where J. Jonah Jameson is kind of like the one who funds the suit for this Scorpion. If you remember in the post-credit scene, which a lot of people don't remember, he actually has his arm broken in that scene. If you go back and watch that scene, his entire arm is broken. So I feel like part of his vendetta could be maybe Scorpion's arm just doesn't work unless it's in a mechanical suit. And it's part of the reason he like hates Spider-Man. He's like, you left me with this injury and scar. I want my revenge, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. With Mark Ruffalo's the Hulk, I've said this before. Growing up as a kid, before the MCU was a thing, all that, at least in my generation, we didn't have Iron Man, Cap America as big heroes. And so a lot of the people we went to were like Spider-Man and Hulk. I'm going to just put Spider-Man and Hulk 2003. Let's see what these right here were like the thing. If the internet was a thing. So people back then were always like, let's put these two together, making little mashups like this. People wanted Spider-Man and Hulk because that's just what they were seeing. They were looked at as the two kind of biggest heroes, and people always imagined them going together. Like, the iconography of having Hulk and Spider-Man together was always there, and people have wanted it. And so it is kind of awesome to know that we are going to be getting that in some sort of capacity. I think Hulk and Spider-Man, just from a visual standpoint, look really cool with one another. Envisioning how Spider-Man can fight the Hulk, because that is a good fight. Spider-Man is so fast and agile and can move around, and the Hulk is very big and kind of slow at swinging. It would be really cool to see that fight go down however they do it, because that's usually what happens. And even in this article, the Hollywood Reporter speculates about that being the case. I'm saying here, the plot details are being kept under the vest, but you can bet that in the mighty Marvel manner, Spider-Man, Punisher, and Hulk will fight one another before figuring out what the real bad guys are. Now, I want to emphasize this because some people are passing this little part of the article like fact. This is the journalist speculating and assuming based on what Marvel has done with other properties. This is not a confirmation that Spider-Man, Punisher, and Hulk will fight, but if you go to any issue, any cartoon, any movie, usually when you have multiple heroes, they have a bit of a tussle and then they become friends to fight a bigger threat. It's like the tale as old as time, right? So it can pretty much be assumed that's what will happen. But it just sucks that Hulk and Spider-Man in this MCU have never interacted. They have no chemistry. They have no reason to talk to each other. I do wonder what is going to be the organic reason for these characters to talk. And what is Hulk doing in New York? Is that where he usually lives? Is that where he spends his time? People speculated maybe he's a teacher. That's what I would go with. Then he could actually be Professor Hulk. Maybe they got to pay the bills too. But if we've seen all the other post-credit scenes when he's like helping out Captain Marvel and Shang-Chi figure out this Kang device thing that's no longer important, it's like, well, it feels like that's his job really, and then he's not gonna be doing much. Sorry, I have my Galactus bucket underneath me. Don't ask why, but it lit up, and I don't want that battery to drain. Shut up! I figured out how to open the mouth. So really, that's kind of my thing with it is I hope they develop that reason good. I can't wait to see why. Now, with the Punisher in there, people are already laughing and making jokes about how the Punisher is going to even fight this version of the Hulk. Even with Smart Hulk, it's still a thing that would be very tricky. And here I gave kind of like a visual of how I envision the Punisher and Hulk fight going down. So let me just bring this up here on the screen for you. Let me know if you guys can see this really well. That's how that's going to go down. That's how it's going to happen. Hulk smash. Wait. No. Wait. Pussed out his AK, taking one bullet, and then running. That's all that's going to happen. I am so curious. What happens? Is the Punisher going after the Hulk? I already seen some people speculate that's what will happen, but dude, in this version of the Hulk, he's very hard to kill. Not even in Bruce Banner form can you kill the Hulk unless he has that device that keeps him, I guess, human. I guess that's a way you could kill him. I don't know. My main thing, I think Punisher's involvement in this is that he's going after all the gangs in New York that are rising up now that Wilson Fisk is mayor and that spot is open, because we did see this armored truck that belongs to the Inner Demons, Spider-Man. We saw them in the Spider-Man video game, but they've also been in the comics. They're the goons of Mr. Negative. I'm thinking that's what Frank Castle's going after is mainly them. And that's what my theory was with like Boomerang and Tarantula. I feel like Boomerang and Tarantula are going to kind of be these joke villains that, yeah, they're hired. Yeah, they're a bit of a problem. But Spider-Man doesn't think of them as a big threat. He kind of just like, these are just like, come on, man, get your life together. Go back to school. He kind of like, he knows they're just guys on the wrong side doing this for like, Spider-Man is a soft on them. He doesn't see them as a threat. But when Frank Castle comes around threatening to put bullets in their head, it's like, Frank, chill, dude. These guys, they just need to be rehabilitated. They just need to be shown the right way. You don't need to kill them, Frank. I feel like that's going to be some of the conflict in there. People bringing back that other theory, since Mr. Negative has the power to bring out negative emotions from their user and kind of aim and manipulate that. Well, dude, that's the key to getting rid of Smart Hulk. Mr. Negative touches Bruce Banner Hulk and then brings out the Savage Rage side in him. We got Savage Hulk back, dude. That would be awesome to get that version of the Hulk back. And that's how you also easily set up a fight between Spider-Man and the Hulk. When Hulk isn't thinking and he's just rampaging, well, Spider-Man's got to do something. That could still be the case in what goes on, but there's no confirmation. We still don't know. You still gotta, who is hiring all these guys? Is it gonna be Mr. Negative? Is it gonna be Tombstone, the one who's hiring these other thugs? I don't know, man. A lot of questions up in the air, but villain of the week, yeah, it also could be like it's just the opening of the movie, maybe because people have also seen in other set photos. There's a building that says it'll be finished constructing in the year 2027. And that means the movie would then take place 3 years after the end of No Way Home. Yeah, here's the building. It says here that construction will finish in December. I think it says here December 2027. I don't know. That building don't look that close to being finished though. So at least that means it's before the year 2027, and Doomsday takes place in the year 2028. So whatever happens in this movie, it'll be before Doomsday, but it'll be at least around 3 years after No Way Home. I want to know what Spidey was up to in those 3 years. I want to know who he was fighting, has he been going to college? Has he been studying? Like the end of No Way Home implied he got his GED, but what job does he work? In those 3 years, he's got to have a job. I don't know if Feast pays all that well. They could be just volunteer work to, fulfill that side of Aunt May to pay honor to her for what she did there. I want to know. I want to know what they end up doing with that. So all this Spider-Man stuff has just been so fun, so exciting. It's crazy that there just hasn't been more set photos. Let me take one last look because right now they got to be working on it. I think maybe they're just doing a lot of the preparation instead of actually getting them working there. But dude, I know that they're gonna have physical swinging, probably some practical stuff thrown in there. Maybe that's how I've also seen how they can get around the VFX work for this movie is doing a lot of practical stunts. That would also be good. Franklin Street, all this New York City is crazy. All of this looking good. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I feel like the photo of it is gonna drop like sometime at 2 a.m. my time, and I'm gonna wake up in a panic sweat going, Spider-Man suit, and I'm gonna have to go and get it. So we'll see, my friends. But yeah, not much else. Plus, filming could even just be principal photography, setting up shots, lighting before the shoot. Yeah, that's the thing about movie sets. They take a long time to sometimes just do one thing. If pizza delivery driver as his job would be so funny. I would love it. And we'll get a pizza timeline in there. Dude, Hulk's son, I'm telling you right now, with the reboot coming, we're never hearing about Hulk's son again. Hulk's son? What son? What front fade? That kid never showing up. This guy right here, I think we're done. What if he shows up, dude? Mid Spider-Man turn. We do not have time. We do not have the plot for this. He doesn't exist. He's not here. I think it'll be a throwaway line of like, he's maybe Mark Ruffalo's Hulk talks to Peter and gives him some like fatherly advice and be's, I have a son and I didn't really get to be in his life and I'm trying to do that now. And I'm sure you could use that. There's going to be some throwaway line like that, but ain't no way front fade is ever showing up in this movie, man. Reboot comes. Bye-bye, front fade. Never seeing you again, man. It's still so weird that they thought, dude, let's just drop that. Let's just drop it. Taskmaster treatment for real. Some people said Taskmaster treatment. That'll be so hilarious. He just gets shot at the beginning. Well, I thought Hulks were bulletproof. I guess not my son. Oh, dang, that sucks. Mom's gonna be pissed. Anyways, this Punisher guy, crazy, dude. I think that's what's gonna happen. Sadie Sink, I think she's gonna be like a college classmate type of deal. I think it could be maybe like a possible love interest of his. It could be like just someone he sees sweet. I don't know if she's that big of a character. She could be anything really. But I see it as like a possible love interest, but that is a replacement for MJ. I think it's like maybe Peter's like thinking of, oh, maybe I should get back out there. Maybe I should give something a shot. That's how I kind of see that. But we'll see. We'll see. Bro tells the bar, leave the back. Yeah, that's what we'll go on. So we'll see, guys. You guys let me know. But it's nice to get the confirmation about the Hulk, about Scorpion. So many villains, so many characters. Of course, it could feel stuff, but it's all about how you use them. We've gone through this argument over and over as Spider-Man, or even just comic book movie fans. It's about how you use the characters. And if they serve the purpose and if they work well, I don't mind it. And we can just move on past it, right?